large trove of emails have been dumped that basically show Epstein's side of the story as he talks with Ghislaine Maxwell about the predator, Donald Trump. Take a listen.
Those damning emails driving headlines and outrage across the nation. Trump being alleged by Epstein to have known about the girls. Of course he knew about the girls, he was told. Trump voters, people around the world, all reacting to this. Epstein and his now convicted conspirator Maxwell discussed in 2011 how Trump spent, quote, hours with a victim at Epstein's house.
So the current administration, the Trump administration, is saying that that redacted name is Virginia Giuffre. Now, I have not been able to independently verify if that's the case, but I have seen some circumstantial evidence that says that it may indeed be Virginia Giuffre. However, I am concerned about the circumstances in which she did speak positively of him, given everything that she went through, given the fact that all other sources, including Epstein himself, have said that he is a despicable, nasty man. So that is still to be determined, but that's what's being said so far.
On the Oversight Committee released a handful of Jeffrey Epstein's emails that raised new questions about the relationship between the convicted sex offender and President Donald Trump. In one email, Epstein claimed that Trump, quote, knew about the girls. In another, Epstein said to his longtime associate Ghislaine Maxwell that the, quote, dog that hasn't barked is Trump. He added that an unnamed victim, quote, spent hours at my house with Trump. Maxwell responded that, quote, I have been thinking about that. Republicans have said that the victim whose name was redacted is Virginia Giuffre, who has never accused the president of wrongdoing and wrote in her memoir when she met him, he couldn't have been friendlier.
Now, let's not be surprised that she said when she met him he couldn't be friendlier, because even former Vice President Kamala Harris said that when she met him he was pleasant, and most people say that about him because he's a charming man, but that doesn't mean that he's not a nasty man.
Republicans on the Oversight Committee accused Democrats of cherry-picking emails that would, quote, generate clickbait, and then released an additional 20,000 documents.
These Republicans are hilarious. Now, while they called it clickbait and all that, the 20,000 documents that they released made it even worse.
In these various emails, Epstein described Trump as borderline insane, worse in real life, and claimed, quote, I've met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump, not one decent cell in his body.
The emails and texts involving Trump include Epstein saying that he'd met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump, and that Trump once left his nose print on the glass as young women were swimming in the pool, and he was so focused he walked straight into the door. And another in which Epstein said Trump knew of it and came to my house many times during that period, but never got a massage. Late last night, Trump called the Epstein scandal a hoax, and he has long denied knowing of Epstein's crimes.
I had no idea. I haven't spoken to him in many, many years.
In a 2010 deposition, Epstein was asked about his experiences with Trump.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment.
5th, the 6th, and his 14th Amendment rights. If you are a Republican, if you are MAGA, if you've been soft on Trump, whether you're an entertainer, a podcast, or whatever, you have not found a way to quite exit, this will be the time to exit. This will be the time to hop off the train. If you have not or haven't figured out how to draw your line, it should be very clear what the line is. Sound off in the comments. Thanks for watching. And follow this channel.